Do I have your consent to record this conversation?
Yes, you do.
All right. So our first is, what are your roles? So my roles, I would say, are a daughter. I'm also a dog mom and a cat mom and a Starbucks employee and a student studying gerontology. I'm a voter. I'm a friend, and I'm a very social person. What about you?
Well, my roles are, starting many years back, I graduated from high school. I went to college for 1 year. Uh, I didn't see where that was going to take me any place, so I went to work for the highway department. That wasn't as good of money as I would like to have made, so then I went to work for the Frisco Railway. I worked there for 43 years before I retired. During this time, when I was laid off after 1 year at the railroad, I went to work for the fire department, Springfield Fire Department. But I didn't ever quit working for the railroad because they used me on what they called an extra board, and they used me several times, quite often.
What'd they use you for?
I worked as a clerk, and it was for tracing with customers that had shipped cars of fruit, vegetables, or wheat, or coal, or whatever. They would want to know where the cars were and how long it would be before they were set to their track to unload. And I had to do all this figuring out. But after I retired from the fire department 20 years ago, I went full time with the railroad. So I've got 21 years at the fire department. I had 43 years at the railroad, so I've got a total of 64 years retirement.
Oh, wow.
And it wore me down at times when I was working too much, but
No, I'm sure.
it paid off. I have 2 retirements, and I always took a long vacation every year. From both jobs, I'd have a vacation at the same time, and take my family on vacations. We went west a few times. California, we had several relatives that we would visit. I drove there 2 times, and then when it got to where I couldn't take the traffic, then we flew there, and I would rent a car, and it was a lot easier not having to drive back the 2,000 miles.
I'm sure.
And because when we did drive back, the problems we had one time, the car heated up. We had to stop in the desert and let it cool off. Highway patrolman stopped and asked if we had a problem. I told him the car heated up. He said, "Well, you don't have to worry." He said, "It's just 117 degrees
Oh my
in
gosh.
the shade if you can find it." But we finally, after stopping 2 or 3 times, let it cool off, got into Las Vegas, and they had an outside thermometer. It said, I think, only 113 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
And we stayed there. It was nice and cool in the motel that we stayed at. It was not cool when we left the next day, but we were getting out of the desert where it wasn't over 100 degrees when we left there on our return trip.
When you say we, was it just you and your wife or your kids too?
This was my wife, myself, our son and daughter, and even a little Indian girl. One day we stopped and talked to, and my daughter and this Indian girl played a while. We took pictures of her, and I don't know what happened to the picture, but it was really a neat picture.
Ooh.
And we found out there were certain things you couldn't stop and pick up. It looked like flowers, but they had a couple birds in them that we had to pick out of our hands.
Oh, like a cactus?
Yes, I think that's what cactus. I believe it was something about a cactus. And we stopped in, let's see, oh, I can't think what the name of that city was. And picked up a lot of fancy rocks because we thought they would look good in our rock garden at home. But the car was weighted down so that I was hoping that it wouldn't break the springs.
Oh, yeah.
But we finally made it back to Springfield, unloaded, took the rocks, put in our rock garden, and we put some in the front of the house where we had small rocks. Some of them disappeared. Some of the neighbors liked them, I guess. But all in all, it was a good trip, and I think we might have made one more trip after this trip by car, but then when it got where the kids were older and weren't going with us, we always flew there and rented a car. But all in all, we had a good time. We went to Hawaii one time, spent 18 days there. Went to, I think, the Big Island and 2 other islands we stayed at. We went on a square dance cruise one time. Went to Cozumel, Mexico, or places we stopped were Cozumel. What were the other 2? I'm having a senior moment. I can't think of the other 2 places we stopped. But it was a lot of fun. We went to New York, drove to New York City one time. They took our car at the hotel, and we didn't see it until we got ready to leave New York City. We done everything by what they call cruises around the city where you didn't need a car.
Oh, yeah.
Went to Coney Island. We went to several different things. Took several boat rides to different things they had.
Would you say that some of your interests then would be traveling and square dancing?
We done a lot of traveling, and we square danced for 35 years. We didn't start square dancing till my wife and I bought new golf clubs and started really getting interested in playing golf. She had a back problem with the golf clubs that they were causing, I guess. She went to the doctor, and the doctor told her there were two things she should never do. One was swing a golf club, the other was throw a bowling ball.
Oh, wow.
So
Well, that's ironic.
Pardon?
That's ironic.
Yeah. So then we started taking square dance lessons, and we square danced for over 35 years. We this was in 1970. It was also in 1970 or 71 that we started going to Western Hills Lodge at Wagoner, Oklahoma, for a square dance weekend. This was always on Thanksgiving. We would go down on Thursday, dance Thursday night, and dance Friday, Saturday, and we would dance Sunday morning until noon, then come home. We got a plaque for attending this Western Hills Lodge for square dancing. We made this trip 35 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
Without, we didn't miss any time. Any of the 35 years, there was a few times when we almost didn't. One time was because of a snowstorm, but the square dance callers told us that this was the only time they remembered anyone going that many years in a row without, some reason to miss. They were probably somewhere between 100 and 200 people square dancing with this at this lodge.
Oh, wow.
Big floor that we square danced on, and we enjoyed every bit of it.
What other interests do you have besides square dancing and traveling since you've kind of slowed down?
Well, we bought a house on Table Rock Lake. I think that was in 1971, I believe. We bought, if you had a place on the lake, you had to have a boat, so we bought a runabout. And my wife and I were in that runabout one day during the week, not on the weekend, but it quit on us.
Oh, man.
So we wondered what we were going to do. There were not any other boats around during the middle of the week, and many years ago. But finally, one person came by, wanted to know if we was having some kind of problem. I said yes. He had a rope, and he towed us in to our place and to our boat slip, where he made sure we got the boat in the boat slip.
Oh, wow.
And so we had to get that fixed before we done anything else.
Did you pay him?
You mean to pull us to the, no, he wouldn't take pay.
Wouldn't take it?
No. But after that one, let's see, I traded that boat to a neighbor there for a car. He had a
Oh, wow.
car that I kind of liked, and he liked my boat. So we traded, and I drove the car for a few years.
What kind of car?
It was a 1978 Buick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We drove it to Memphis a few times. It would, it was a nice car. It would pass everything except a gas station.
That's how my Lexus is.
Yeah. But after that boat, we bought us a pontoon, and relatives and friends always like to come down and go for a ride in pontoon. You get several people on it. And when we got a little bit tired of that, we wanted something different and better. We bought a deck boat,
Oh.
and it would hold several people, probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 comfortable.
My cousin Allie, that's the kind of boat she has, is a deck boat. We used it a couple times this summer.
Yeah, this one I think had a 125 horsepower Mercury motor on it, and we had a lot of fun with it.
I'm sure you did.
But then after my wife had both knees replacements, she did not like to go out on the walkway to the boat or go for a boat ride, afraid that she might injure. So, and I had a couple of back surgeries, so we sold our place at the lake and put our time on just our entertainment then was nothing but just dancing, not square dancing, just regular dancing.
You still dance some, don't you?
Yes, we usually dance at least twice a week until I had a little accident. In other words, my accident was I was working in the garage and I passed out, I guess, kind of made a pretty good sized cut on my head. And my great granddaughter and my wife took me to the emergency room. And the next thing I remember was being in the hospital bed later on that night or early the next day, and I had a pacemaker put in because evidently I had a heart block. So I spent a week at the hospital, 3 weeks at the
Manor of Elfindale?
The Manor at Elfindale. Yeah, you remembered that, didn't you? And that was for therapy, occupational therapy, and therapy to learn to walk better and just recoup. And now I'm home and still don't do as much as I used to. I've been home for a week and we haven't gone dancing yet, but we plan to here in about a week.
Good.
Good dance coming up at the Elks Lodge. So we're going to try to make that and hopefully stay healthy enough that we can continue dancing.
Oh, yeah.
But never have played any more golf or bowled.
Mm-hmm. Probably best that you don't.
Yeah, we have a golf car that we ride on it occasionally, but
Yeah, I know you said you were pretty eager to get back out on that.
um, yeah, I don't play golf, but we bought this when we were at the lake. The year of it's a 1995.
How much did you get it for?
It cost, well, it's two seats. The back seat faces backward. It's got a roof on the whole thing. Got headlights, tail lights. We paid about $5,500 for it, like $5,500.
That's not bad.
I've still got it, and it still runs, and we don't do that a lot, but because my wife she thinks we're too old to do that. She is afraid it might quit on us, so I'm going to get the guy that I bought it from 30 years ago. He still works on tuning up golf cars at his home. When I bought it from him, he had a business here in Springfield with golf boats, our cars, selling the golf cars. But now in his retirement, he still works on them, so I'm gonna have it tuned up.
Good.
So there won't be any problem with my wife thinking it's gonna quit on us.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks that because it's 30 years old, that it might quit anytime. So after he works on it, tunes it up, puts new whatever it might need on it, well, it ought to be good to last me the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, better be.
And I don't know, when I get through with that, I'll probably have some great granddaughters that might like to have it.
Oh yeah.
What? Oh.
Um, they like to ride on, especially at Halloween. They like to get on it and go around the neighborhood. And
Well, a couple of my hobbies are pretty similar to yours. I like to travel. I haven't traveled too much, but I've been to Florida once or twice, and Chicago this summer. Hopefully, I can get close to the amount that you've traveled. Another one of my hobbies is cooking, and I know I just brought that taco soup over for you to try, so we'll see if my cooking hobby is worth it or not.
I'm sure it will be. I'm anxious to get started on it.
Well, we'll go find out.